Hello, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast for this evening, this Sunday, June 8th. How are you all doing today? I hope you're doing fantastic and have had a nice weekend. We are here with our nice little mice, as always, and it is relatively cold today, so we have our tea today. In addition, we also have the keto donut again. It has been a little bit since we've had the keto donut, so how's everyone doing? How's everyone's June going so far? Gosh, in a few more weeks, we will be halfway through this year already. It's really crazy to think about, isn't it? It really is. Just how fast everything is going. Just how quickly everything is moving forward. So, how was everyone's weekend? My weekend was pretty good, I must say. Nothing too crazy for the most part. So, made a lot of nice food this weekend, so that's always good. That's always good. Got my hot tea, so I have to wait a little bit. Let me see if I can, you know what, I can, in the meantime, I can take a bite of the donut at least. You know, those are donuts always very, very good. There they are. I have to wait a little bit more for the tea. Anyway, mice, how was your weekend? Our weekend was pulsating-tastic. Yes, it was. That's right. You heard from them. Their weekend was pulsating-tastic. Just the way that they like it. Isn't that right, boys? Just the way they like it. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So, our topic for today is going to be about apologizing appropriately. How can you make appropriate apologies? That's what we talked about on Friday. So we shall continue that conversation. So what is an appropriate apology? What is an appropriate apology for you? How do you express an apology to someone? As well as how do you expect other people to have an appropriate apology for you? That's really the big thing here, because when we've all done something wrong, we want to, well, whenever someone has done something wrong to us, we want to be able to receive an apology from someone that is genuine, that seems as though they are actually care about what they did wrong, and trying to get on better terms with us. But let's face the facts. A lot of people can't necessarily admit when they've done something wrong. So as a result, apologies are not necessarily something that is done the most effectively. So that's why you have to really think about what is an appropriate apology. How do you make an effective apology that is appropriate? Well, I think the number one thing is you really have to realize what your mistakes are. What are the mistakes that you have made when it comes to your wrongdoings? To me, when it comes to making an appropriate apology, if someone is not able to realize the mistakes that they have made, then they're not actually making an appropriate apology at all. They're not. Yeah, this is a perfect time. Here we go. I'm sorry. That's what we have to say. We have to say, I'm sorry. There's many different ways we can say I'm sorry. Let me see if I can position myself. No, I can't. It always just goes like that. Look, I can view a bunch of stuff. You go, I'm so. It's a shame I can't actually move the background, but I wish I could. Wish it would allow me to like move the background a little bit, but no, I cannot. I can do my best to move myself over. That is the best I can do. I am sorry. I am sorry that I cannot get it in proper position correctly. Oh, you just have to look at I-A-R-E. I-R-E. Okay. So if you realize what your mistakes are, then you're able to give an appropriate apology. Why is that? Because you're coming from a place that is genuine. You're able to admit your wrongdoings and actually see what you have done wrong in the situation. Because let's face it, a lot of us don't like to admit when we've done something wrong. We don't even know when we've done something wrong. So as a result, we're not able to give an appropriate apology. So let's use an example. If you betray someone's trust, I don't know why you did a thumbs down. Hey, look, betray someone's trust. Thumbs down, that's right. It's a bad action. I don't know why that just suddenly appeared. That was pretty funny, but perfectly timed. Perfectly timed, I must say. So you betray someone's trust, you hurt someone's feelings. And if you're not able to see what you did wrong in that situation, how can you possibly expect to give an appropriate apology in response to them feeling bad? You're really not able to. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to look at what their feelings are and you're going to invalidate them and you're going to say, well, I didn't do anything wrong in this situation. There's nothing that I did wrong, so why do I need to apologize for that? There is a difference between overly apologizing for something that may have not been your fault, because there is such a thing as apologizing too much, too frequently, for things that may not even necessarily be your fault at all, as opposed to actually admitting when you are wrong about something and then taking the appropriate action to apologize. So that is really step number one. What is the mistake here? So if you betrayed someone's trust and they feel very bad and hurt about it, and they come to you expressing their concerns and you just kind of pass it off like, wasn't all that bad. I didn't really do anything bad. You're really not sympathizing with them. You're really not understanding their perspective regarding this matter. You're not really understanding how you hurt them. You're not able to actually see it and comprehend it. So if you actually take a step back and actually think for a moment regarding your actions and how you went about the problem that they feel as though you caused, then you can actually see what you did wrong in the situation. Because we can't be right all the time. It's not possible. And just like that, our donut is gone already. We may knock this out very quickly today. I would be very happy if we did. By the half-hour mark, let's see if we can do it. So you got to realize what your mistakes are. That is really step number one. So what is the next step in this? It all has to do with your language. What is your language when you actually are going to say that you apologize about something? What language is used? Now, here's an interesting thing. Some people may have a very surface level reaction of what they feel as though they've done wrong, or they're able to see a little bit from the other person's perspective. But their language has a complete different tone to it. How many times have you heard if someone apologizes, or if you're apologizing to someone, you say, I'm sorry, but There's always that but in there. And as a result, it's not a genuine apology at that point. Because you're completely nullifying the apology by adding that but in there. You're not actually saying what you did wrong or able to admit what you did wrong. Instead, you're putting stipulations on the things that you have said. I'm sorry, but... Then that goes back to step one. Are you able to realize what your mistakes are? If you're not able to realize what your mistakes are, then you can't actually make an appropriate apology effectively. You cannot. So what would be the appropriate way to go about it then in order to actually say that you're sorry correctly? Well, instead of saying but at the end of that, you could say, I truly apologize for my wrongdoings, for betraying you. I am genuinely sorry for the things that I have done. And instead of saying but or things along those lines, you can just say that my actions were careless, my actions were foolish, I was not thinking before I acted. Things along those lines to really get the point across that you are genuinely sorry about the situation, but there's no stipulations that you have put into place to nullify your apology. Because the moment you add a but in there, it is no longer genuine. It's no longer genuine. Now, I guess there's many different ways you can say that you're sorry about something. You know, we can talk about different ways of saying that you apologize, or even just the ways that we may say that we're sorry or that we apologize for certain situations that we've done wrong. So yeah, we can get into that in just a moment. But I guess really the next major point is, what action do you take past this point? How do you change from this experience going forward? That is really the major thing here, because if you keep repeating the same things again and again, keep repeating your same mistakes, and you keep having to apologize again and again for the same thing, and you're not actually changing anything, then that shows the other person that you were not genuine with your apology. So if you make a mistake, you hurt someone, you betray someone, you go behind someone's back, and you genuinely apologize to them, and they feel as though they accept it, and they feel as though you were very genuine. Well, what happens then? Some time goes by and you do the same thing again. You repeat the same mistake again. Because you have not changed anything, you have not changed any of your ways whatsoever, guess what happens? That person they're going to look at you as if you were not genuine with your apology the first time, like you broke their trust, and that they're not going to believe you if you go to apologize again. And this sort of thing can keep happening again and again and again and again. So you really have to be able to change your method, change your ways after the apology. If you truly mean what you say, and you are done with your old ways of betraying someone, or having someone lose your trust, then you need to be able to change those ways in a much more positive way, so that you're able to not repeat those same mistakes again, not have to apologize for the same exact action again. Because once you apologize once genuinely, you have to start changing your ways so it doesn't happen again. You can really go even a step beyond this as well and do proper kind gestures for the other person. You can really go out of your way to show that you are genuinely sorry for your actions and the things that you have done, in addition to doing something kind to basically remind them that what you did was very, very wrong, and that you deeply apologize to them. Whatever the case is, you need to find something that's going to allow you to get your point across that you are genuine. But it really does all come down to you realizing what your mistakes are. What are the mistakes that you have made that have led up to this point? What are the actions you have done that have led to this point of them feeling upset with you that you need to apologize for something? A lot of times we may not necessarily even know that we've hurt someone. And as a result, it can be very hard for us to see what we did wrong. Because deep down, as I said, we don't necessarily want to be wrong about anything. So we want to just kind of pass that off and just say that, it's the other person's doing. That's not always the case. We have to be able to admit that. Mice, do you have anything to say as an apology for all these people? You can go in the people's hands back here that are saying, I'm sorry. We are never sorry to sniff each other's feet. That's right. You heard them here first. You heard them here first. All right. Well, I guess that's pretty much everything here. We shall conclude it, I guess, super early. Ain't no one is going to be here to acknowledge their wrongdoings and be able to apologize appropriately. I suppose not. We can talk a little bit more about different ways we can say that we're sorry about stuff. It's, I guess, you really do have to think about when you have been hurt by someone. If you have been hurt by someone, you do want a genuine apology from them. So maybe we need to lower our expectations when it comes to what we're expecting from other people. If we expect other people to be a certain way or to behave a certain way and respect us in a certain sense, then what's going to happen then is we're going to be let down when the other person cannot see it the same way that we see it. So if we're expecting something from someone, if we're expecting an apology, we need to just learn to let that go. Because we can't expect someone else to see what they have done wrong. We can try to make them see things from our perspective, our way of life, doing things that are really show them how they have hurt us. But ultimately, we may never get that apology from someone. Think about people who are very self-centered, who are very narcissistic. If you even have people who have hurt you really badly, who are no longer around, they are deceased. I see Rich keep popping in and out over here. Yeah, look. There he goes. He's gone. He's gone. So if you have those sort of situations in your life, I see that ear just kind of popping. There he is. Okay, he's gone. So if you have those sort of situations, that's right. Like you can tell he's listening. When his ear pops in, he's listening for the apology. So yes, if you're expecting someone to behave a certain way when that's not how they are and they would never see things, you have to just come to terms with the fact that you will never get an apology from them. Plain and simple. You will never get the apology that you require, that you request, and as a result, it's not going to be very, very good for you to keep pestering, asking for that apology. Keep trying to expect that apology from someone else. So I guess really the whole moral of this is we need to realize when we've done something wrong. And when someone else shares with us that they've been hurt by something that we've said or done, then we need to acknowledge and listen to what they have to say and view things from their perspective to really see where we've gone wrong. And then from there, we'll be able to make some changes. We'll be able to say the appropriate language to actually truly admit that we were wrong about something. And then we can change our ways. We can take that step to be able to form an appropriate apology, to never do those mistakes again, and then to give gratitude towards the other person for doing some sort of positive action. So as a result, we'll be able to show that we really are sorry for our actions, that we are sorry for our actions. I don't know how else to phrase that there. So anyway, folks, I think that will conclude it. I really hope that you have learned something today. So I guess I shall see you next week then. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. People will be here next week. So we shall see. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you tuned in, I shall go back to my room for the time being. There we go. And I'll catch you later. So bye-bye.